It's a wonderful thing that Persistent, which is one of the the biggest software companies in Pune, a software solutions company, has teamed up with Sakar and I4C to bring together a digital Pune Hackathon 2015. This can be seen in the perspective of the entire smart cities mission which the government of India has launched. And as we are all aware, the foundation of a smart city arises from an active citizenry. A citizenry which not only brings forth the problems but also helps in solutions and finding of solutions. If we see the past experience with citizen participation in finding out concern areas for the city, we have seen that water supply, solid waste management and sanitation and of course housing have come out as the prime areas where people need solutions, and the city has grown, and they have these areas are really needing more attention. If you see, these are not the only areas. Of course, transport is another big sector, security is another big sector, health, education, IT, governance itself is a big talking point, and how do we improve governance and create a structure of governance which will be conducive to bringing out smart cities. Now, while we talk of all this, I think there are a lot of partners who will come forward and will engage in such solution finding. And I'm very happy that Persistent along with Sakar and I4C have got into partnerships with a lot of important organizations who are working in these sectors in the city. For example, PMC, who I represent as a municipal commissioner, we are very happy to be a prime partner for this event. I have been told that MSEDCL actually, which is the electricity supplying authority for the city, they are a part of this event. The police is a part of the event. ICMR is a part of the event. So a lot of people have come together and have basically tried to convey to the participants and to try to engage the participants in the problems facing in the areas these authorities or these bodies deal with in the city. So coming to say transport or security, probably it will be better that PML and the police talk about it. I'll focus on 3 or 4 core issues which are there as prime urgent needs for the city and which needs to be dealt with immediately. Number 1 is water. So when we talk of water, we know that Pune has a peculiar situation. We can see that Pune has connectivity wise 91% households have water supply connections. Now this is much above the urban India average, which is close to 70%, and a Maharashtra average which is also close to 75–80%. So while we are above as far as number of household connections is concerned, there is a distribution problem in the city wherein not all these water connections get the same amount of water. So some end up getting an extremely high amount of water, some end up getting extremely low amount of water. So the one problem which comes into light is unequal distribution of water. Second problem is, of course, if you see the average liters per capita per day consumption, which is prescribed in an urban India scenario, which is the average, which is the norm, is 150 LPCD. While this is the norm, Pune draws up to 230 LPCD of water from its reservoirs every day. So if you can see, there is a clear indication that we are overdrawing water from the reservoirs as far as the per liter norm per day is concerned per capita. While that be the case, as I highlighted in the when I was talking about the household connections, some households get less than 75 LPCD of water, while some are getting more than 400. So there is another disparity of the amount of water every person receives in the city. So here comes the problem statement. The problem statement is not of availability of water. The problem statement is about distribution of water. So there are smart solutions required to bring about equality in distribution. Smart solutions required for leakage detection. There's one other problem in the city which I should highlight is non-revenue water, which is close to 40%. So if I draw 100 liters of water from the reservoir, I actually end up billing only 60 liters. So 40 liters goes unaccounted. So how do we bring this into the net? Non-revenue water should be brought into the net, equalization of distribution. So these are the prime areas of concern in water supply. Of course, this can be dealt with zone wise, this can be dealt with district metering area wise. So we have about 67 water supply zones in the city. We are planning to have close to 320 district metering areas after we do this equal water distribution supply system in the city, for which a project worth around 2,800 crores has been prepared by the PMC. So that is one part. The second part is regarding sanitation and solid waste. One of the key areas in solid waste, which we generally don't talk about because we end up talking about the bigger processing plants and how we are disposing waste, is the simple fact of collection of waste. As we know, in Pune we have a system wherein we are tied up with the informal sector, the rag pickers, and the organization which has brought them together called Swachh to collect waste from about 40% households in the city. We are in the process of expanding this network to the entire city over the next 3 months. So that process is on. While we are doing that process, there are multiple challenges. One of the challenges is how to make households pay, because even if 50 rupees is the charge per month, a lot of houses don't come out and actually pay those that kind of money. So one kind of a information campaign where everybody is made to pay that 50 rupees, because that 50 rupees goes to the rag picker. The rag picker lives his life based on that. It's not that the money is going to the municipal corporation. It sustains the economic well-being of the rag pickers. So it's very essential that this message goes through, that while we pay so much amount of money for our cable TV, while we pay so much of amount of money for our mobile bills, of 50 rupees, which is less than 2 rupees a day for garbage collection, is not a big amount. The second message we need to pass on to the citizens is regarding segregation. It's a very simple message. You have to not only you basically have to keep waste in segregated compartments. It's not about mixing waste and then segregating it back again. It's just that we need to understand that in the households we need to keep waste in segregated compartments, wet waste separately, dry waste separately. How do we do that is a challenge. There is a lot of ICA effort which has been done. Pune has been successful to a large extent, much better than other cities. Other cities are close to 10 to 15% as far as segregation goes. We are close to 50%. So we are 3 times ahead of other cities, but we need to go to 100%. So how do we reach out to people for that? Then this entire use of technology in vehicles of solid waste management. How do we so there will be close to 600 vehicles will be plying every day in various capacities in the city. So how do we use technology to monitor the movement of vehicles, to ensure that the vehicle reaches the garbage bin or the garbage collection point in time and disposes the waste in time? Then we also need to have systems wherein we can at one single place monitor all our processing plants where this waste is taken. As we all know, Pune has a multiple decentralized model of processing plants. So waste doesn't go to one centralized location, waste goes to multiple locations within the city. So we need to monitor how much waste is coming from which point and is going to which point and is getting processed in what duration. So that kind of a monitoring is required. Plus we need mobile communication facilities for people to be able to report garbage problems, people to be able to interact with the municipal corporation regarding their complaints and grievances. So all that is required as far as solid waste is concerned. Sanitation is another issue where we need to focus on. Recently PMC carried out a survey regarding sanitation in the city, and we came to know that around there are around 28,000 households which still need to have individual toilets in the city. Otherwise they're going for open defecation, and something like this to be in a city like Pune in the 21st century is something which we should not really take lightly. It has to be dealt with immediately. We are committed to solve this problem in the next 2 years. So 2017 October 2nd, Mahatma Gandhi Jayanti on 2nd October 2017 is the deadline we have kept before us. We may try to reach this deadline much before that, but that is the maximum we have kept before us to make this city open defecation free. So sanitation is one challenge. Now while we do this, there is a challenge of master listing, there is a challenge of GIS mapping, there is a challenge of doing kind of house to house survey which is based on a pad where we have all the information with us, so that no fudging of data happens and no actually people do end up actually making the toilets once the money is given to them. So that kind of a monitoring system, also kind of a dashboard is required where all this can come through. So sanitation is one of the issues. Then another issue which we face is the housing, because we are all aware that it's become a general tendency that cities which grow big with big slums. So the bigger the city, they have bigger slums, and Pune is no exception. We have 40% of our population living in slums, and that's a very big figure, and that just cannot be that is not a good situation for a city which wants to become a smart city, which wants to become one of the leading cities of the country and leading investment destinations to give good quality of life to its people. So how do we tackle this problem of housing? What are the technological smart solutions which are possible for tackling this problem of housing? I would also mention that governance. So we are in the process of preparing a 3-year roadmap for e-governance within the corporation. So e-governance is another sector where we need to work on. As we all know, this is a very dynamic sector, and as challenges faced by us, the PMC and the challenges within the society change, we need to have better e-governance and better governance structures at large to be able to deal with it. So elements like how we can improve the citizen interaction with PMC, how we can make that a more pleasurable experience, how we can create monitoring systems within the organization to be able to tackle so many large amount of projects which are going on in PMC. So dashboards, analytics, then creation of websites, creation of various kinds of mobile apps, creation of cloud-based data repositories. So all this kind of activities need to be taken up by PMC in the future to be able to give good governance to its people. Last but not the least, this is one of the efforts which I feel goes in line with PMC's efforts of interacting with its citizens to co-create and to collaborate on problems facing the city and to co-create solutions for that. So I wish Persistent, Sakar and I4C my best wishes for this hackathon. I wish all the participants, and I want to appeal to all of you to be active participants to this hackathon and make it a grand success. Thank you.